Hello, my people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Kenyan American Home, or TV, whichever you're watching me from. And if this is the first time you're logging in, welcome. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button and you'll become part of the family. And then don't forget to hit that notification bell. And then you'll get notified every time, I upload a video. And I've kind of been on it. I've been uploading a video almost every single day. And today I'm here to talk about the DV lottery, and if you don't already know, the DV lottery has already started. And I kind of wanted to give you an update on what do you need. And then what I'm gonna go through is I'm gonna go through some of the questions that I've been hearing from people and kind of like letting when you're starting the process to fill out your DV, your DV entry, what is it that you need to know? And I'm gonna go ahead and answer some of those questions. So first of all, you're gonna ask, so what's the website that I need to go to in order to fill the DV lottery? And I've put it on the screen. It is dvprogram.state.gov. If you go to your browser and type in dvprogram.state.gov, it's gonna take you right to the DV. It's gonna take you right to the DV entry, and then all you have to do is hit the enter and then put in that that they ask you for that code, alphanumeric code. And then after that, it'll take you into the main screen where you submit your DS5501, which is your DV entry. So I wanted to kind of walk you through what is it that you need. I need to fill, I need to complete the DV, I need to do the DV entry. What is it that I need? The number one thing that you need is you need a passport photo. That's like that's the thing you cannot do without is the passport photo. You need a good passport photo. And if there's something that I've noticed from the people that I've been filling for, is about 80% of the people that I am doing the entry for, their pictures have failed on the first try. So when they send me their pictures, and these pictures, they look good. They look, they're professionally done. And I go try and test them out, and 80% of them have been failing. And I think I've kind of discovered one of the reasons why some people keep saying, I keep applying, but I keep getting, I've applied for 20 years and I haven't gotten, I haven't been selected even one single time. And the problem could be that the photo that you're using is disqualifying you automatically. So one of the things that I did in my previous video is I kind of showed you that, the DV, the website itself will not help you correct some of the things like compression issues. It will not help you correct your background. What's your background of your photo? It will not help you correct, the way you look. It will only stop you from proceeding if if you don't have a JPEG, if it's not a square, it's not a 600 by 600 pixel. So it's the size of the photo that it's looking for. It's not looking at the contents of the photo. And so if you're looking for the the dvprogram.state website to be able to help you catch some errors that you may have in your passport photo, then you're wrong. Okay, so I did a video on my YouTube channel. So go look at the playlist. Look at the DV lottery playlist, and I've labeled it, the US DV passport photo requirements. So that's the video that you need to go check, because what I did is I kind of give you I give you everything about what they need in the picture, but then on top of that, on the description of the video, I put in 3 websites that you can be able to use to check your photo before you upload it, before you submit your entry. And one of the things, it's that thing has helped a lot of people, because a lot of times when you look at the photo, just by looking at it, you wouldn't know that it's over compressed. But then you put it in the DV photo tool and it's going to tell you your photo has been rejected because it's been over compressed. And you put it in the other websites that I've put for you, the DV photo checkers, and it's gonna catch some of the things that you might not be able to catch. You might not be able to catch, like the file size, if the file size is below, if it's more, and so many of those things. So please make sure that you check on your photo before you go on and submit your DV entry. I mean, I can clearly say that and confidently say that a lot of people get disqualified because of the photo that they use. I've tried to say this so many times in my, in my channel to let people know, but I'm just saying it again. Make sure you have a good photo. If you cannot be able to do it by yourself, please go to a studio, go to a cyber, and make sure that they're giving you the right photo. Test it out before you even leave that place, and then you can let them know, hey, this photo that you sent me doesn't qualify. So then when you talk about the photo, one of the things too that has been coming up is the background of the photo is supposed to be it's supposed to be white or off-white. People tend to mistake what off-white means. Off-white, some of them, four main off-white colors are eggshell, cream, ivory, and eggshell, cream, ivory, and that's about. Why am I blanking on the fourth one? The fourth one is ivory, vanilla. Yeah, and vanilla. So that's off white. That means it's not really white, it's off white. So if your background is blue, you will get disqualified. If your background is brown, you will get disqualified. The background is supposed to be white or off white. And I've kind of given you an example: cream, eggshell, vanilla, and wait, and ivory. So excuse me, I'm kind of dealing with a cold. But yeah, that's it about the photos. Make sure your photo is good. So then what else do you need to be able to start the process? Is you need to have a form of ID, which is either your birth certificate, or if you have a passport, even better. Because you need to know, make sure that your passport and your birth certificate, your names match. A lot of people have been having issues with their name. Other than your passport and your birth certificate, I think you're ready to go. So you have your passport photo, you have either your birth certificate or your passport. You're ready to go ahead and fill out the DV entry. So I'm going to walk you through, not the questions, because I have a step by step, line by line video, but I'm going to tackle the sections based on the questions that I've been receiving. So yeah, all right. So when you go to the entry, the first line you see is the number one is name. All right. So you have the last name, the first name, and the middle name. So if you look at your passport and you have a surname, your surname will be your last name. Okay. And then your first name for most Africans, it'll be your Christian name. And then the middle name will be the actual name that you were given. All right. If you have two names, if you have two names in your passport, this is why it's good to have a passport and a birth certificate. Why? Because in your birth certificate, a lot of times you only have two names, because it'll be your name, and then they'll list your mom's name and your dad's name. When you go to the passport, they usually ask you for a surname. So for your surname, you usually take your dad's or mom's name and you enter it. You put it in there. So if you're just using your birth certificate, you're not gonna have the surname. So you're going to have to decide if you use a surname when you're filling this out. Make sure when you go to get your passport, you're going to use the same surname. All right. So surname is usually the family name. If you have a passport, it's gonna tell you. If your passport doesn't have a surname, then use your middle name as your last name, and then your Christian name as your first name. So then you will not have a middle name. If you have four names, most probably you have two Christian names. In that case, those will be your first name. So if your name is uh, John Peter Ochieng Kamau, John Peter Ochieng Kamau, okay? So then your first name will be John Peter, and then John Peter Ochieng Kamau. So then your last name will be Kamau. Your middle name will be Ochieng, and then your first name will be John Peter. John Peter. Hopefully, I've explained it, in a way that you can understand best. That's about names. So if you have two names, use your actual name. as the last name, and then and then just check the box that says no middle name, no middle name. All right. But then if you have three names like most other people, then you're gonna use your surname as your last name, and then your Christian name as your first name, and then the middle name is your actual name. All right. And then the other sections are, your birthday, your gender. The other question that has been puzzling a lot of people is the city. So, in a country like Kenya, when you say city, I think there's like four cities. What they did is when they do this form is written in the US. All right, it's how they would consider a city. So in the US, a city is just, it's in my country, Kenya, it will be your town. What is your town? Is your town Eldoret? Is your town, do you live in Nairobi and you live in somewhere like Kangemi? It's the town. That's what they use. So your town is what they're really asking. Is your town is your birth city. That's what they're asking. It's town, city are used in the same, there's different ways that in the US they say city. In Africa we usually use town. So use your town, the town that you come from. If your town doesn't have a name, use the closest town that was close to where you were born. All right. And then your country of eligibility, country you were born, that is easy. With the other portion that confuses a lot of people is number 8, which is the mailing address. All right. A lot of people get confused by the mailing address. So there's two main ways that you can use a mailing address. The first one is what a lot of people use is a PO box. You can find a PO box of where just the town that the town you are in, or if you live in Nairobi, you can find like a post office, find a PO box. Their mailing address used to be important a while ago, but they don't use the mailing system anymore. That everything you'll be communicated goes either through your email or the USCIS account. So for your mailing address, you can use a PO box. All right. So PO box is gonna have PO box dash, and then you're gonna have the city or the town that you're in, and then it's gonna ask you for the district or province or state that you're in, and then a postal code. All right. That's just the box. But what I usually actually prefer to use is I prefer to use something called an actual. So because how they do it in the US is they use whether it's a street address, whatever that the way the addresses are is they're using the street address. What street are you on? And then it kind of completes the address. So what I do is I use what's the major road that passes by where you live. All right. If you have a major road, use that road on. So you don't in care of. You don't need to fill in for in care of. That's optional. That's if you have an address that maybe it's in a school that your mail will go to a school, and so you would say in care of this particular school. So because the mail will first go to the school, then address line number 1 is where you would put the major road. Major road, or if there's a major mall by where you live, you can put that mall. You would say that mall, or you would say, like in Kenya, we have a road called Jogoo Road. You would say Jogoo Road, or Ngong Road, or Juja Road, or Thika Road. Whatever main road passes by where you live, put that road there under line 1. Line 2 is optional. You don't have to fill in anything. Then you go to the city. What town, city or town? So that what town do you live in? Then you would put that town there. And then it asks you for the district, county, province, or state. So, what province are you in? What county are you in? You can put either a county or a province, put it in there under E. And then the postal code is very easy. Go to Google, take your town, and then type, if you live in the town called Kangemi, just say town, just say Kangemi postal code. Kangemi postal code, it's gonna bring you the postal code for Kangemi on Google. Those are very easy to find. All right. And then obviously the other thing will be your country where you live. So if you live in the Gulf, then you would put, you would put the Gulf. If you live in Europe, you would put Europe. Wherever you live in, that's where you would put the country where you live. All right. And then phone number is optional. The other important thing that you need is you need a good email address. This is one of the most important things that you need, because email address is good in case you lose your confirmation number. You can be able to recover it if you know your email address and you know your last name. All right. So make sure you know your email address. Counter check it. Check it twice, because if you mess up on your email address, you've messed up yourself pretty much. So just make sure you confirm your email address. And that's why they put it there twice. They put email address and they tell you to confirm the email address. Make sure it's the same email address that comes to you. All right. So then number 12 is what kind of confuses a lot of people that I wanted to talk about. And that's the level of education. All right. So you have the first option is primary school. So primary school is, elementary school. Primary school, if you it's usually class 1 to class 8. So if you only went to primary school, then you would put primary school. All right. And then the second option is high school no degree. High school no degree means you went to high school, but you did not graduate. You did not have a degree. Okay. You did not have a diploma. They interchange it, degree, diploma, certificate. So high school no degree means you went to high school. Yes, you went to high school, but you did not come out with a high school diploma. All right. So that's high school, no degree. In that case, if you put that option, the option for primary school and the option for high school, no degree, that means you need to have the 2 out of 5 year experience, work experience or training in an area. And I've done a video talking about the work experience. So I've done a video talking about how can you qualify, what are the, how do you check to see whether your work experience in 2 of the last 5 years qualify for that. So that's a separate video. If you want to go check that video, it's on it's on that playlist, the DV Lottery playlist. You're gonna find it there. So if you did training, maybe you did like uh, 2 years of school and you've had so many years of experience, that could be a way for you to be able to qualify for the DV Lottery. All right. High school degree, that means you actually graduated high school and you have the certificate. Back home, we call it a certificate. Here in the US, they call it the diploma. But then in the DV lottery, they say degree, high school degree. That means you actually have that certificate. Vocational school means you finished high school and then you went to a trade school. What is a trade school? Trade school is you finished high school and went and did plumbing, went and did all these skills in trade schools. Okay. So but you already have a certificate, but you've done, electrician, you've done mechanic, you have you've graduated from a technical. It's usually they call it technical institutes back home. Like if you went to a technical, like the way is it Kenya Polytechnic used to be. Now it's a university, but before that, it used to be a place where you would go and learn a trade, learn a skill. That's vocational school. All right. Some university courses, these are, you're either in the university, you haven't graduated to get the degree, you would put the some university courses. Some university courses could also be you have a diploma. You have an actual diploma. A diploma in the US, they call it an associate degree. So if you have a diploma, you can put some university courses, because that's an associate degree that, if you add 2 years to it, then you get your degree. All right. And then the other one is university degree. That is straightforward, is university. And then some graduate level courses. That is, if you've done any postgraduate, postgraduate after university, that, and then the master's degree, some doctorate level courses. You're still in the process and you still haven't graduated, and then there's a doctorate degree. All right, doctorate degree. And then number 13 is the marital status. The marital status is you have unmarried. Unmarried is, you're single. So pretty much single, you'll put unmarried. And then there's two married. If you're married, you have two options. There's married to a U.S. citizen or to someone with a green card holder, and there's married to someone who's not a U.S. citizen and not a green card holder. So if your spouse is not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, make sure you select the second one. The third one is the one that the spouse is a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Then there's divorced. Obviously, make sure you feel divorced if you actually have the divorce decree. It's done. It's completed. It's done. And then there's widowed. Widowed is usually so that when they use the widowed filing status, it's usually, if your husband passed away or your wife passed away, in the last year, then you can say you're widowed. You can say you're widowed, and then there's a legally separated. And legally separated, they actually tell you there. They tell you legal separation is an arrangement when a couple remains married but live apart following a court order. If you and your spouse are legally separated, your spouse will not be able to immigrate with you through the DV diversity visa program. You will not be penalized if you choose to enter the name of your spouse from whom you are legally separated. Okay, and it tells you if you are not legally separated by a court order, you must include your spouse, even if you plan to be divorced before you apply for the diversity visa. Failure to list your eligible spouse is grounds for disqualification. Okay. So this is where it goes for married people. Married people, this is tricky. Sometimes you have people who are separated. You need to toe there's a very thin line here between getting disqualified and not getting disqualified. So if you're together and you're not living together, you're just married, but you're maybe living apart, technically you're still married. And so if it's possible, go ask for your spouse to send you your passport photo, and then you can feel together as a married couple. That's the legal way to do it. It says the only way, if you're married and you have and you're married and you don't have legal separation, then you're supposed to file as married. That's if you're married. Now it's different when it's like come we stay. See, come we stay, it's you've never been married. That's different. That's different because ultimately you'll need to prove with a marriage license that you're married. But also, they also need proof that you're a couple. You're a couple. So yeah, so that's the thing. As a married couple, you have two applications, two chances. You can apply with the husband as a primary applicant and the wife as the derivative with the kids, or you can apply as with the wife as the primary applicant and the husband as the derivative together with the kids. So that means as a married couple, you get to apply two times, one under the husband and one under the spouse. Let me clarify this. If you, for some reason, do double entry, you get disqualified. Some people, some people tend to think they are clever than the system, and so they apply one as single and then one as married. You will get disqualified. They have ways of knowing that. Whether it's the facial recognition, you will send a passport photo. So please apply only once. You can only have one application as the primary applicant. Now, here's the thing. If maybe your son is 18 years old, 19 years old, or 20 years old, uh, you can file as the primary applicant as a parent, and then have your son as a derivative. And then you can also tell your son, if your son has graduated high school, to file his own. So that means on one application, your son will be the primary applicant by himself, and then on another application, you will be the parent, and then the son who is under 21 years old and unmarried will be under your application. Hopefully I'm making it clear. Please file as your status permits. If you don't have a license, if you've never been married, then you're not married. There's so many, this that kind of, we're getting into the quagmire and a lot of messiness, especially when you haven't been legally married. So that's where you need to decide. That's where you need to decide. But ultimately, you will need a marriage license for you to be considered as married, and you will need a marriage certificate for your interview when you win the DV lottery. So yeah, that's tricky. And then please include all your kids. Include all your kids. I did a video the other day about taking pictures of babies and toddlers. Okay, so don't leave your kids out. If you do that, you're complicating the process. It's like you're committing fraud. Not like you're actually committing fraud if you leave out your kids. So please make sure you include your kids and include everybody that needs to be included in that application. It's a DV lottery. It's better if you win and you win with all your kids, than win and then you haven't included all your kids. Because then you're faced with a long process to be able to, and that might disqualify you. That might disqualify you. You trying to add your kids. If you try and add your kids after the lottery, that is, that could be grounds for disqualification, because when you filled out, you had kids but you did not include them. All right, so on the first page, make, if you don't have any kids, put in 0. If you have 2 kids, put in 2. If you have 3 kids, put in 3, and then it's going to take you to the next page. So if you file as married, you need passport photos as well for your husband. You need or your wife. You need passport photos for each of your kids, and you also need to complete their date of birth. All right. I think I kind of, I think I kind of covered pretty much everything you need in when it comes to filling out the DV lottery. And yeah, and I've tried to answer most of the questions that I've been hearing from people, and I wanted to put it all in one video. That way, it makes it easier. So you can watch this video, and it'll have some of a lot of the answers to the questions that you're having. I'm trying to think what are the main questions. Okay, so here's the thing. Uh, so, oh yeah, for pregnant women, yeah, let me do that. So if you're pregnant, there's nothing to fill. All right. If you're pregnant right now, or if you get pregnant during the process, there's nothing to fill if the baby is not born. All right. And if you're pregnant and you give birth before you do the DS-260, include your baby in there. So if your baby is born before you submit the DS-260, make sure you fill the baby. But if the baby is born after the DS-260 and your interview, then what you can do, then you don't need a visa for that child. You don't need a visa for that child. If the child is born before you immigrate to the US, then you will need their passport. You will need their passport to travel, but you don't need a visa. But if you're pregnant as you travel to the US, then you don't need nothing. You don't need a visa. You don't need a passport. So you only need a passport for your born kids. Unborn kids, you can wait until they get born in the US and they become US citizens. So that's that. And then there was another question that came. Oh yeah. So when you talk about the primary applicant, the primary applicant has all the rights. So if you're going to if you're like you traveling to the US, uh the spouse, the derivative, so like if the husband was the primary applicant and then he added the wife and the kids become derivatives. All right. So as a derivative, you cannot enter the US before the primary applicant enters the US. So if you're going to the US, you have to make sure you, number one, have your husband with you, the primary applicant, or your wife, the primary applicant, with you. So you can go together, that will be fine, or your husband can come first, and then get ready, have some money, get an apartment ready for you, and then you guys can come later. But you cannot be the first ones to come to the US because you don't have any rights. All the rights belong to the primary applicant. Hopefully, yeah. And then in the unfortunate case that the primary applicant passes away before you are able to go to to the US, then unfortunately that is kind of, because then they pass away with your rights. Pass away with your rights. I'm sure with a good lawyer, maybe there's a loophole. There's a loophole around that, but it's the primary applicant pretty much has all the rights as far as as far as the DV lottery is concerned. But also too, there's something that came into my mind that I wanted to tell you about case numbers. Yeah, people keep asking about case numbers, case numbers, case numbers. So the results will come out on the on May 4th. Okay, so May 4th you'll come back in with your confirmation number and log in, and you'll get to see the message, in the portal. So you'll come to the dvprogram.state.gov, same website. You log in, ask you for the confirmation number, your last name, and then once you go in and you say, hey, you get the message you have been randomly selected. What it will do, it will give you, your details, but it will also give you your case number. That is where you get your case number. All right. People have a lot of myths about confirmation numbers and long confirmation numbers, the way they look, but a confirmation number is just like a password. It's like a receipt. It doesn't have anything to do with, it's just the thing you log into to get your results. It's like your password. That's what it is. Your case number now is pretty much everything. And I've kind of dived into the topic about case numbers and kind of how how to check visa bulletins and all that stuff and all that. If you won a previous lottery, so like if you won the DV 2024, please and you have a high case number, also apply for DV 2025, because you never know. So you can apply multiple years, even if you've won. Because like DV 2023, a lot of people were kicked out. A lot of people, the visas ended while some people waited for interviews. And unfortunately, when the visas are gone, the year is closed. There is no more visas that can be issued, and your chance is gone until you try next year. Hopefully that this was helpful information, and it's gonna help somebody. It's gonna help somebody. I try to talk as much as possible, but also give as much information as possible. Please, before you leave, make sure give me a like. Give me a like. Share this video with somebody who will appreciate this video. But subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification bell. To get connected and get notified every time I upload a video. But yeah, share this video, like this video, leave me comments, ask more additional questions. I can do more videos based on more questions to try and answer your questions. But hopefully I was able to touch on a lot of questions that people have. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And I wish you all the best. I hope we meet next time with a testimony that you were selected and you got your visa, you came to the US, and this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much, the Kenyan American Home family, Kenyan American TV family. And God bless you guys. Thank you. All right. Bye.